applications that are now.
Welcome to be.
So if I don't fix them, how are you going to have a learning environment? I guess I take it the premise of the question of either or, I don't accept. So things that, again, as we said, what do you have to do with the school budget in order to make sure that you can go for, well, what are you going to fund? Or are you going to build a new school, which must be done, because if you see the shape that that building is in. You've been there, you graduated when?
I just graduated.
Okay, so 2 years, okay. 07, okay, so what they showed us was mold in the carpet, holes in the ceiling, rodent infestation, of course the no AC, but that's not going to, well, they might change size of the building. But those are things that are not conducive to learning. And since you went there, you know that when you got off of the code red days, what happened to your evening or your afternoon periods? Right? So hold on, maybe you asked me and Betty, so let Betty respond.
In order to have a quality education system, you have to have both. Because it is important that we have the resources for our teachers on the operating side, and we also have on the capital side the facilities for our children to learn in. And if you're talking about a facility that is 50 years old, that is certainly technology. It is in no way, shape, or form even capable of installing any kind of technology in Oxon Hill High School, which then has an impact, a negative impact on the quality of education that our children would be receiving. So it is certainly important in terms of both having a learning environment that is conducive to the safety of our children, and also important in terms of putting our dollars where. Now, the county doesn't make a decision as to where the dollars get spent. The county only, on the operating side, the Board of Education gets an opportunity to decide where those dollars. There's 15 categories that the Board of Education decides. And so that question needs to go to the Board of Education in terms of why are you spending less dollars on the instructional teachers. When I looked at the budget, I saw where salaries and wages went up for administration at a higher rate than they went up for our teachers. I was glad to see that our teachers got $12 million increase in salaries over the previous year. But I'm saying, well, where's that other $4 million go? You know, for the administration. So once again, it is important. So, but your question really needs to be and looked at in terms of why is the Board of Education allocated. Now, the county does not have any say-so in how the county, the Board of Education allocate its instructional dollars.
I understand that.
We're going to, in the interest of time, we're going to get this last question in. Bill?
I'd like the candidates' thoughts about the current and long-standing pernicious practice of the county council known as council courtesy, in which 9 fiefdoms function in this county, and somebody like Marilyn Bland in the last sub-region 5 and 6 zoning plans and sectional map amendments was able individually to come up with a whole bunch of zoning changes, inappropriate, even against the county planners, and most of the county members of the county council went along with it. It operates like that and has for many years. I would like the candidates' views on the notion of council courtesy.
So we're going to have a response to that, and then we're going to wrap up.
Folks, I would like that for you. Bill, one of the articles on that, what you mentioned, where that very person, Councilwoman Bland, because she's the chairman, we're curtailing our ability to speak before her, and she she started talking about how much she was into the Bible. And my retort to her was, Jerry Mathis of Fort Washington suggested the chairwoman take a look at the Gospel of Luke. To whom much is given, much is expected. Then we went further, and I wrote to the county Gazette saying that Blaine is out of touch with reality. Then, on one of the articles, where one of my persons that was lobbying with me to get the county council to do just what you said, they turned their back on him, Councilman Dean and Blaine, and stopped her from speaking. And Mr. Mathis said, a member of the Coalition for Change, adding that the individual makes those points outside his controversial remarks. However, Mathis and other community activists said the council has made it difficult for residents to voice opinions through actions such as delaying afternoon comment periods until after evening zone hearings. I think it's deliberate, said Jerry Mathis. And this attempt to have people and less press there. What I'm saying with all of that, I've chronicled it, people. This has been happening, and you're right. The rest of them go along with it. I've been able to talk to a couple of the council members to take them outside of that. And I told them, look, you don't have to go along to get along. Step outside of that. Voice your opinion. Everybody wants to get along, so they go along with it. Well, somebody in my district, in that district wants something, I'm going to go along with them because I never know when I want something in my district, I'm going to need them. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what they do. All I'm going to say to you, Bill, it's not going to happen on my watch. They're going to have it. I'm not going to be angry. I'm going to be the leader like I was as an officer in the 82nd Airborne Division, one of the most elite units in the military. I'm going to be a leader. But I'm going to have to drag them along. I want to make leaders out of our leaders. Right now, we have followers in leadership positions. What you said is evident. That is the man. You know me, Bill, from my time of going against the council, that I will stand up and do the right thing.
When Jerry talked about him being on the Prince George's Community College Board, that was a thing of senatorial courtesy. As a Central Committee member, any partisan appointments to any board of the county has to come before us. As a member of the 26th District, the senator nominated him. He came to the Central Committee and we had to approve his nomination. And the way we do it is we're not a rubber stamp, but we listen. In Jerry's case, he was approved. We had other people who came for the Board of Elections and others who obviously weren't qualified. When you have a nominee who sits down in the chair and says, I don't know why I'm here, I don't know where I live, I don't know what the board is that I'm supposed to be appointed to does, we voted against him. So in that, you have to give whoever the council person is some latitude, but if it's wrong, and the person obviously doesn't have the qualifications, or the project is not qualified to go forward, you will vote against it. And I do have experience in history doing that.
Okay, this is the last response before we go to the wrap up.
As far as council courtesy, I think that's part of the systematic issues that we've been dealing with as a county government as a whole, and I think that comes back to the accountability. One, our voters have not been holding our elected officials accountable, and all too often I've been working at polls for the past 12, 14 years, and what happens is we've got to get out of this herd mentality where we have sample ballots and folks don't know anything about anyone other than they like them or they met them or what have you, and we've got to have the citizens vote on the candidates based upon issues, okay? Where does the candidate stand on the issues? And how is that candidate going to execute and articulate what's going on? We need folks in the county council that have a vision for the entire county, but also that is representing their respective districts. And that's what we've been lacking sorely. That's what I'm telling you I will bring to the table. My colleagues, I haven't been there fighting everything, but I'm telling you, I have the leadership experience and background to be able to lead the district and represent the county overall to make sure that the visions that we articulate for the county are seen. My other colleague speaks to promises. And we've got to get beyond the promises. And this is what I'm saying to you. I'm looking to engage you now and continually to ensure the fact that you're a part of the decision-making process and part of helping shape the future for what it is that we envision for the county and to make the reality of what it is that we'd like to see. So create the vision and then figure out the steps that we need to take to make sure that the vision becomes reality. AndreDonahue.com, www. Look at the committees. Get involved. You'll see one of those committees in an area where you can make an impact, and together we can make a change. That's the difference that I'm bringing to you tonight. That's the difference that I'll bring to you overall. I'm trying to engage you now, and I'll continue to engage you, and you'll be part of the process of bringing about the changes you'd like to see in the county. Thank you very much.